This is the Nova P600C from Aputure. It's the successor to the popular Nova 300C, and it has a feature set aimed to compete with the likes of ARRI and light panels. But can it hold up in the field? Let's find out. My name is Graham Mueller-Sheldon, and I'm a DP and producer based in Los Angeles. Welcome to CineD's YouTube channel for my review of the Aputure Nova P600C. I loved the original Aputure Nova P300C when it first arrived in the summer of 2020. And I had a chance to use that fixture on a film shot right before the pandemic called So Cold the River with DP Madeline Kate Kahn. You really can't discuss the Nova series from Aputure without first giving a nod to the ARRI Sky Panel, in particular the RGBW S60C. The Sky Panel has been a ubiquitous presence on set in North America since April of 2015, but that doesn't mean there isn't room for another manufacturer to come along and upset the balance when it comes to RGB soft LED panels. Since the Sky Panel was introduced over half a decade ago, we've seen a host of other brands enter the segment, like Light Panels with their Gemini, Rosco with their DMG Lumiere fixtures, Lightgear with their LightMatte Spectrum series, and other brands like Razer, Lupo, and Nanlux, to name a few. What makes the Nova series appealing out of the gate is the price point. The original Aputure Nova P300C fits somewhere in the middle of the pack for RGB soft panels at $1,699 for the base kit. The $3,290 Nova P600C builds on its predecessor's design, and Aputure claims that the P600C is double the brightness of the P300C, but there are some key differences beyond just output. The first thing you'll notice out of the gate is that the RGBWW Nova P600C is obviously bigger versus the Nova P300C and fits a more standard 2x1 size for the LED panel itself. That sizing is especially important because the original P300C lived in an odd middle area in terms of dimensions, and that likely meant less support for third-party accessories from the likes of DOP Choice, Shamir Lighting, and others, or at least less cross-compatibility. The Nova P600C really is a bit slimmer than I expected, though this is still not a C-stand friendly light, and you'll want something a bit larger like a combo stand for rigging. Bonus points if the combo stand has wheels. It still feels part of the Nova series in terms of build. You still have a detachable rear-facing controller and that sliding handy metal loop for carrying or maybe attaching a safety chain, still there. The metal side yokes make tilting easy, and the yokes don't have a tendency to slip their teeth, which is good. Like other 2x1 RGB soft panels, it is on the heavier side to lug around. The lamp head weighs in a bit over 20 pounds, but that's almost 6 pounds lighter than a Sky Panel S60, and just a pound or two lighter versus the 2x1 Gemini. I didn't have access to the Aputure rolling hard case for this review, but the ability to roll this fixture around would be well worth the additional $300-ish for that case, in my opinion. Diving into the feature set for a moment, you have a wide selectable Kelvin range in CCT mode that runs all the way from 2000 Kelvin to 10,000 Kelvin, which is actually a bit wider range than you can get from an ARRI Sky Panel or Light Panel's Gemini. There are also hundreds of gel presets that simulate popular gels from brands like Rosco and Lee, and this is especially handy because gel types are still a common language on sets between lighting professionals. Of course, you can dial in specific colors using HSI, RGB, and XY axis color controls if you have the time to really explore different color options. The special effect options from the Nova P300C are still there. Effects like lightning, cop car lights, they're all easy to trigger and then dial in. I also noticed the P600C has a removable diffusion panel, which suggests there may be other types of diffusion panels available in the future for an additional cost. One of the real banner features of the Nova P600C, something that wasn't present in the Nova P300C, is the addition of 4 light engine control zones. If you've used lights like the Astera Titan tubes before, you'll know you can individually map pixels in those fixtures to display different colors, and the functionality is similar here in the Nova P600C. Why do we need this feature? Good question. The first use case that jumps to mind is with studio process car shooting or LED video panel studio shoots in general. The LED video panel walls that are becoming more popular on shows like The Mandalorian need fixtures that can help project specific colors or specific VFX flashing light sequences. Sure, you can light your subject using a video wall, but sometimes you just can't get that punch or control you need from an LED video panel. My first time using the Nova P600C was on a second unit process car shoot for a film called The Duel, where the programmable zones became incredibly useful to create a sense of movement in a car. Using the hand controller, it is simple to program the different zones to display different colors and then to animate their movement. I really appreciate manufacturers that spend time thinking about their UI and the general ease of use of their product's menu, because I'm not a programmer and I appreciate being able to make small changes on the fly myself. Of course, you can use the Sidus Link app on your favorite Android or iOS device to control the fixture over Bluetooth, or you also have the option to use built-in Lumina Radio CRMX or 16-bit DMX for controlling the light. You can also set DMX loss behavior so the light doesn't turn off mid-scene should you lose a DMX signal for some reason. Something I always liked about the original Nova was the ability to remove the controller from the lamp head and hold it in a more comfortable position, and you can do that here too. Okay, testing time. I've gone ahead and tested the output using lux and color handling, using Kelvin, of the Nova P600C at a distance of 3 feet with my Sekonic C700U spectrometer. Here are the results with no modifiers attached. A result of 5557K with a target of 5600K is excellent, and the lux measurement of 18,400 is actually a little higher versus the manufacturer provided results. Here's a quick look at my color rendering results. Everything landing in the mid to high 90s in terms of CRI, with the exception of R11 green and R12 blue. Another good Kelvin result here of 3,180 and a lux reading of 13,600. Finally, here's a result of 4,679 Kelvin, again very close to the target, with a lux reading of 16,700 landing right in the middle of the lux measurements when set to daylight and tungsten targets, so landing somewhere right in the middle. Based on manufacturer-provided P300C Nova output readings compared with my results for the Nova P600C, it does look like the P600C is about double the output of the original Nova P300C, which makes sense. I think the biggest hurdle for the Aputure Nova P600C, in the larger production markets at least, will be perception. Producers, rental companies, gaffers, and DPs may be used to simply adding Sky Panels or Geminis to their rental list and moving on, because they've done that over and over. But Aputure makes a strong case that the Nova P600C can absolutely play well on both small as well as larger productions. Remember, this is a weather-resistant light that can take a beating during the normal course of production and keeps on working. And with the $3,290 price tag for the base kit, as of January 2022 at least, this should make for an easy future-proof purchase decision for some individual owner-operators out there and rental houses alike. There you have it. That's my review of the Aputure P600C Pro. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.